The weight of grief we've all been carrying is not insignificant. And perhaps the imagery of literally carrying something could help us to process that. So I'm going to invite you into a posture prayer with me as a way of letting our bodies help us with our praying. Now, this practice would probably be best if you actually stand up to do it. So if you're able to do that wherever you are, you might find it helps. In a minute, I'm going to ask you to hold your arms out in front of you like this and cup your hands. And as we do this, I want us to consider the grief we've been holding in all the areas that Michael named just now. And we're going to imagine that we are holding it physically in our hands. So you ready? Okay, join me and hold your hands out. Hold them out far. You can close your eyes or keep them open, whatever helps you focus best here. Now, perhaps your grief has been tied directly to the medical realities of the pandemic. Whether because you work in the war zone of healthcare, because you've actually lost a friend or a family member to COVID, or in the midst of COVID. Or perhaps you've lost part of your own physical health in some way. That's grief. Allow yourself to feel it and to hold its weight in your hands. Feel it for yourself, for those you love. Feel it for the world. Maybe your grief has been tied more to internal difficulties. Maybe a loss of mental health and stability, a loss of peace, and just a feeling of safety in the world. Loss of hope. Maybe your own internal sense of emotional equilibrium. Do you feel that weight? These are heavy things to carry. So picture them physically there in your hands right now. For yourself, for those you love, and for the world. Let's hold it. Maybe you've been grieving relational pain. Whether relationships that have literally ended, or maybe just become so strained under the current reality that they're just not what they once were. And that hurts. Can you feel that? If lockdowns and restrictions have actually forced you into more proximity with relationships that are hurtful and harmful, feel the weight of what you've been carrying there and hold that weight in your hands right now. For yourself, for those you love, for the world around us. For many, the biggest loss they've experienced has been tied to economics. Maybe that's you. Whether a loss of employment, loss of your business, savings being drained, maybe actual bankruptcy. These things are a big deal, and they have been for so many. Let's just add that weight onto the others in your hand. For yourself, for those you care about, and for the world. Can you feel how much heavier your arms are becoming right now? For some, the biggest losses to grieve have been or have become spiritual. So has your faith struggled at all? Has it become anemic, feeling with the loss of so many of our programs and in-personness, our togetherness? You feel like your faith's disappeared completely. Have you asked the question, where is God? Again and again, and heard no answer? Maybe that's a grief and a weight you've been holding too, so let's do that. For yourself, for those you care about, and for the world. I've even heard the term ambiguous loss, naming a subtle but pervasive just sense of deep sadness. That the world has seemed to change overnight and people just don't even know which way is up anymore. I have felt that. And so we can hold that one too. let ourselves feel its weight. This is almost unbearably heavy, isn't it? In Psalm 31:10, the writer says, "My body withers under the weight of this suffering." Perhaps you're feeling that right about now in your arms. That's the same psalm, actually, that Jesus quoted from the cross when he said, "Into your hands I commit my spirit." He was trusting and waiting for God to deliver him from the most profound pain imaginable. Maybe we're waiting for some of the same. And so, if indeed, as Michael said earlier, it is good to wait in silence, then let's take 30 more seconds to just sit in silence. Allow your arms to keep feeling that weight. And most importantly, allow your heart to grieve your losses. And then at the end of the 30 seconds, when the song begins to play, as your own act of trust and hope, just let your arms go. Release that weight to God, trusting in God's ability to hold all of those things and to hold you as you sing.
Faith can move the mountains, let the mountains move. We come with expectation, waiting here for you, waiting here for you. You're the Lord of all creation, still you know my heart, the author of salvation. You've loved us from the start. We're waiting here for you, with our hands lifted high in praise. It is you we adore, singing hallelujah. You're everything you've promised. Faithfulness is true, and we're desperate for your presence. All we need is you. We're waiting here for you, with our hands lifted high in praise. It is you we adore,